Today I'm reviewing The Sims 4 Dream Home Decorator. This is part of a series where I review every single pack for The Sims 4, including all of the older ones. New video uploaded every Monday. Dream Home Decorator is a game pack for The Sims 4 which comes with some brand new build by functionalities as well as an interior decorator career. The cast weirdly looks like something a person would wear if they were an interior designer. Randomly, it fits the theme very well and I can't put my finger as to why. Looking at the cast yourself, I'm sure you'll be able to understand exactly what I mean. The focal item for the cast, I'd say, is the female jumpsuit. It's certainly the most popular item that comes in the cast of this pack. The aesthetic is very American suburban, which is what every aesthetic is in The Sims 4. So there's nothing massively new, but for what it's worth, most things are smart but also casual too. And I do think the cast does look very nice. The men's cast, however, is tragic. There is a huge male and female imbalance in the pack. I don't care that most Simmers are female, as the game is supposed to be representative of anyone and everyone, and the men's cast just feels like an afterthought. I would honestly rather they just gave us nothing than give us the rubbish that we did get for male Sims. The Sims team clearly don't know how to make a man who doesn't look like a fun dad, and there is absolutely no excuse for them not to try at this stage. The pack comes with some cast for children and for toddlers, which was surprising, although I wouldn't really say it stands out as being particularly nice. I do also think there is a slight male and female imbalance for the kids too. I know most of you will disagree with me because most of you are women yourselves, but I want balance in a game, otherwise it doesn't represent everyone. Half of the cast, i.e. the female cast, is nice, but the other half, being the male cast, is bad. The feminine clothing gets a 10 out of 10, but the male clothing gets a 0 out of 10, so in total the cast gets a 5 out of 10. Taking a look at the build by, it's very simple and Scandinavian themed. It does look very reminiscent to that of IKEA. Everything is in a wooden swatch, and there are a load of nice wooden swatches actually. In fact, almost every single object of the build by of this pack has the exact same swatches. If you really enjoy making really simple IKEA style homes, this pack is honestly perfect for it, and there is something for almost every single room. The pack also comes with some brand new furniture we've never really seen before. Firstly, we have modular sofas. These work in a very similar way to kitchen counters do, in that with kitchen counters you have an expanded menu where you can actually change them up and do them in different styles such as corners and things, and with the sofas it's exactly the same. You can do corner sofas, sofas with armrests, sofas that are supposed to go in the middle, outer corners, inner corners. There are even curved sofa options, which is amazing. Another new feature is the ovens. The pack now separates the oven from the stove, being able to place them individually into counters. However, one thing I thought was strange is technically without the move objects cheat on, you can't actually place the stove on top of the oven. I thought that was a bit weird, and I feel like there should have been the option to do that, but if you would like to separate the oven and the stove, you can. There's also a mini countertop oven too, which we didn't have before, so it's a nice addition. The pack also has a new modular storage system, which is really playing on this IKEA idea. They can be placed almost like Tetris blocks in a very wide variety of ways, which makes them very versatile for making closets, TV units, or any other kind of storage. In that sense, this pack is very much Marie Kondo, if you have seen that Netflix show. It comes with a lot of storage items that are designed to fit in all of these new storage systems. Although I will admit, I do wish there were slightly more clutter items that came with the pack. If you like colorful builds, then this pack probably isn't for you. Everything is very muted, basic, and wooden. This is the vibe that I personally really appreciate, and you can build some really nice spaces with the pack, especially seeing that everything literally comes in the exact same swatches. It's really easy to make a coherent build. Weirdly, we've got a ton of beds and chairs and other things in the comfort category. In some sense, I do feel like the cast is slightly unbalanced. I would have liked slightly more decor at the expense of slightly less hardwood furniture such as beds, but it's not a huge deal. Also, there's basically nothing in the build category other than 3 doors, although it's not the hugest deal as the main point of this pack is interior design and not exterior design. Another random thing I really wanted was some more blinds. We don't really have that many blinds in The Sims 4, especially closed blinds. I feel like blinds would have worked really nicely with the modern aesthetic, but again, it's not a massive thing. In all, I will say the build by is pretty strong, so it's getting an 8 out of 10. This game pack, by the way, does not come with a brand new world, unlike some other game packs. So looking at the gameplay itself, firstly, to start off with all of the gameplay that that is not centered around the interior designer career, there is a play tent for kids. I'm not sure why we have this, as it has nothing to do with the pack, but there we go. As the kids play in the tent, adults can play as a monster and scare the children, and there is moodlet that makes the kids scared afterwards, but other than that, there is nothing really else but the career itself. You join the career just by the normal Sims 4 means. Instead of just having a job performance meter, this career also comes with a reputation meter, which is centered around building up a good relationship with clients in order to get more gigs to do renovations. In order to actually get a gig in the first place though, you must click on the clipboard under the career section and select one of the client's briefs. Most, however, are unlocked only after a certain level in the career, and they do raise in difficulty. Selecting each individual gig is nice as it allows you to choose what to do, but I would have liked it if you could book gigs in a way in advance so that you don't have to select a new one every single day, especially now seeing the calendar is a base game feature, because I often find with this pack I do forget to select gigs. When you first enter a client's lot to do a renovation, you must first greet them and get to know them. This is fundamental as it allows you to know what their likes and dislikes are so you can design a home around them. This pack, by the way, comes with a category in the likes and dislikes feature that centers around interior design and different themes that you like in a home. Likes and dislikes seem to be randomly generated for clients, so they can be rather random. They may also conflict with each other if there's more than one member of the household, which does add an additional challenge. However, you can only choose 3 likes and dislikes from the entire household, which seems really oversimplified to me, and I would have much rathered at least 5 to work with when designing a space. Just to confirm, although each individual sim can have up to 20 likes and dislikes, only 3 are randomly selected from the entire household in order to design the space. The likes and dislikes my clients had absolutely nothing to do with interior design, so it made it impossible to know what to do. I feel like there should have been a hard code that meant that at least one like or dislike was a color preference and the other was a design preference, but instead you might find, like I did, that the feature gives you absolutely no direction in terms of what to do. One thing I do also find very weird is that you're meant to speak with all members of the household. In real life, you wouldn't really ask a child how they want their kitchen to be renovated, so this seems weird to me. Once you have got to know their likes and dislikes, you then have to send them packing, allowing you time to design the space. Of course, the main thing about this career is designing a space based on the likes and dislikes. However, the implementation of the client's likes and dislikes for a space weren't really implemented in a way that makes sense. In fact, clients don't really care what you do in terms of design and renovation, as long as it all fits within the likes and dislikes, but seeing there are only 3 and they can often be very random, it makes this pack very easy to manipulate and cause chaos. For me, that is very fun because I like chaos, but for the average player who just likes realism, I do feel like it can be a bit immersion breaking. But before the actual designing itself, you must first take up to 5 before photos to show the big reveal once a renovation is complete. This job required me to do 1 room renovation, but it didn't specify which room. I decided to do the hallway because EA forgot to add a floor tile to the original build and it looked a bit like a prison or something out of the back rooms and most definitely needed saving. The gameplay of this pack isn't really gameplay because it's just build mode. Clicking on the likes and dislikes opens up a category in build mode which gives you hints about what you can or cannot use, although in my case it wasn't so helpful. Apparently computers and desks are mischief items, so the game advised me not to use them, which was just total stupidity. The clients liked violins and pipe organs, so I put one of each in the hallway. The pipe organ was blocking the door, but the AI was too dumb to care. Even though it wasn't in the specification, I added a flooring to save the sad hallway, and then I decided to simply finish up. Once you finish up, you invite the clients back and you host a reveal event. The clients cover their eyes as you show them into the room, although as the front door was blocked by the pipe organ, they had to go through the back door. The game then shows you a cringy and underwhelming slideshow showing the before and after photos taken. The clients will then have a look around the build and you have to infer whether or not they liked or disliked it based on the thought bubbles above their heads. You also have to complete a couple of very simple missions, including talking to the clients, which could be talking to them about literally anything and showing off some focal objects you've changed or added. Once the clients are ready to give you a final verdict, they'll have a clipboard above their heads. Apparently, my clients really love the flooring and the violin and the pipe organ, and they actually gave me a good review. Once you finish, this can obviously increase or decrease your work performance and reputation based on whether they liked it or disliked it. As a pre-warning, if you make yourself too at home in a client's lot, in other words, shower in their lot or cook something, they may fire you from the job, ruining your reputation. There is also an option to send your Sims to work alone if you can't be bothered to follow them, which is nice. However, your Sim actually works between 9 AM and 9 PM with this, and I felt like it was just way too long. I also checked the lot that my Sim apparently renovated when they went alone, and absolutely nothing in the lot had changed, so the game does lie to you. After playing with the pack for a while, I can categorically say it is ridiculously shallow. There is simply no gameplay other than a very poorly implemented mechanic. We got a kids tent and a new career. The career itself wasn't even anything new because it's basically just build mode with a couple of basic interactions. The renovation feature as an interior designer is extremely lazily implemented and is way too easy to exploit. EA clearly made no effort to make this game pack a fulfilling experience, and for the price point it's at, this pack should have come with significantly more gameplay content. Or if not, the pack should have just come as a stuff pack. By the way, in The Sims 3, interior design was actually a career bundled with the Ambitions pack, which is basically the Sims 3 version of Get to Work, and I also feel like the same should have applied to Dream Home Decorator as a refresh to Get to Work. The pack does have, I guess, some random quirks like a reputation system, but fundamentally this doesn't justify it being a game pack. This pack is simply way too overpriced for what it is. It has a feature that many Simmers want, which I believe is why the pack is so popular, but these mechanics simply don't justify it being the price point it's sold at. They hadn't even bothered to add a new aspiration or anything. As constructive criticism to EA, this pack should have included more out of work gameplay. For example, in The Sims 3 Ambitions, you could draft designs on a board at home before visiting clients to increase performance. There could have also been an option to renovate community lots. There could have been a house flipper style mode where you actually enter homes that are in ruins and you have to renovate everything, or you could even have a mode where you renovate an extreme hoarder home, or it could have come with an architectural design career about building homes rather than actually renovating inside of them with similar mechanics. To add to that, how about a landscaping career, or how about even a fashion designer career that brings CAS into the mix, or at the very least just upsold it as a stuff pack with less CAS and buy objects. I know many of you guys love the idea of house renovation, and I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but looking at it from an unbiased perspective, this pack has horrendous gameplay and deserves nothing more than a 1 out of 10. The Sims 4 can be a very buggy game and often performs poorly, so we need to look at performance. Clients would often check spaces that weren't actually renovated, which ruined the immersion of the pack. They were also constantly clipping through each other and clipping through walls when looking at the spaces. Also, after actually finishing the job, there was no option to leave. There was no option to quit the job or return home, so I actually had to go home the old-fashioned way of traveling home and selecting my lot, which was weird. I've already mentioned this in the gameplay segment, but the career itself was just way too easy to exploit. It doesn't function as you'd expect and has no way near enough depth, which makes it extremely easy to break. In my opinion, being too easy to exploit and break is a massive sign of poor quality and performance, and with that being said, this pack deserves a very low performance score of 2 out of 10. Looking at cross-pack compatibility, with the Get Famous pack, you do earn fame after getting a good reputation. Of course, technically this pack is cross-pack compatible with all packs, as you can use build or buy objects from any packs in a renovation. However, this is more of a passive outcome of the Sims 4 DLC system rather than an intended cross-pack feature, so I'm not considering it. I feel like there should have been cross-pack play with the Tiny Living pack to design and renovate tiny homes, which would have been really exciting. The likes and dislikes feature could have also been expanded on to include likes from certain packs. For example, if a Sim likes knitting, you could make a knitting room. This pack made very minimal effort with cross-pack play, and with so much Sims 4 DLC, I do expect more, so it is getting a 1 out of 10. So this is where I give a personal note about the pack as well as the overall conclusion. In total, this pack is getting a 3 out of 10. If this pack did not have good build buy or CAS, I probably would have given it a 1 out of 10 or even a 0.5. This game pack is simply not a game pack. Simmers have always loved build mode in The Sims 4, and Dream Home Decorator could have been the thing that united build mode players and live mode players. Instead, it offered a very shallow and poorly implemented mechanic that offers novelty to those who have the money to spare to buy it, but the quality of this DLC pack is just shockingly low. Especially seeing this pack was released much later down the content line, EA should have known better and release this pack with enough content to substantiate it being a game pack, especially in line with some of the older game packs which have much more content. The entirety of The Sims 4 has been mostly a moderate embarrassment up to this point, but this pack is really the icing on the cake. I know most of you will strongly disagree with me because you love renovating homes and you think this is a really cute idea and you're gonna send hate my way, but I am looking at this game pack objectively from the eyes of an unbiased person. This pack is factually bad, and it's such a shame because it contains a gameplay mechanic which is very much loved by the Sims community, and from this perspective I can't help but feel like EA were just okay offering the bare minimum as they knew people would buy it anyway. With that being said, I am very much disappointed with this pack. This playlist here has brutally honest reviews uploaded every single Monday, so please make sure that you either save it or check it out if you want more unbiased views about the packs. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.